St. James Athletic Department, Final Budget Report, EDU 528 by Zangar. The total sports budget for the athletic year was $69,000. The total athletic department wish list requested was $182,886.73. The amount of cuts that had to be made to stay in budget was $113,886.73. The budget allowed to each sports program, if split equal, was $5,750. I did not follow this policy, but I did keep it in mind of equal splitting. When I go over the programs, each one is color coded, and then on the charts itself, if it's green, it was accepted. If it was red, it was cut. Orange, that meant that it was revised. And pink made that I gave the coaches options on items what they would like, where they could not get them all. The highest budget requested was football at $45,824.90, and the smallest was women's track at $1,558.65. Notes of budget procedures. For the athletic wish list, I try to meet as many needs as possible. I did not split team funds equally, but did keep the equal budget total in mind when selecting items off the wish list. Applied policies from my current school districts and others which I have worked. These policies were a 12 ball rule. Each team will get 12 new balls per season or equivalent if requested on the wish list. And then like baseball, golf, softball, we'll get 12 dozen baseballs, 12 dozen golf balls, or by the case. Uniform rotations are a full 5 years of service. Uniforms must stay in the program for full 5 years if purchased by the athletic department, meaning that I cannot give them to the players or I cannot have players buy them and replace them. They must stay, and then after the rotation is done, they can be bought by former players if wished. The athletic department does not provide shoes for any athletic teams as well. The first wish list item was the men's basketball wish list, and they ended up receiving all items, anything from our 12 basketballs to Slipknot refills, uh, huddle video subscription, practice jerseys, all stuff that could be needed to help us support the program. The total cost was $4,851.89. It was under budget by $898. Nothing was revised or cut. The men's volleyball, this budget was sent to me as a college example. I had to refine this as to a high school example, and then I also acted as if all our women's programs equipment would not work, and as if we were starting the program from brand new as far as gathering needs of which we needed. So items accepted. The very first one was the 40 jerseys, and then I had to refine everything else or revise everything else to equal our needs in starting the program. So they got the 12 volleyballs, but I also stated in the description below that we had other volleyballs to supplement, since girls and boys volleyball use the same size volleyballs, that we had other ones that they could use for practice to help them get started. And then I ended up buying them the poles, the nets, the web straps, the pads, the collapsible ball cart, just one for the time being, the judge stands, storage equipment, everything, and the net winder, everything that would be needed to start a program efficiently in the beginning and to continue to build on. Uh, the men's volleyball revised total was $5,998.58, which was $248.58 over equal budget. But like I mentioned earlier, as I was not exactly following equal budget, I'd like to keep it in mind when comparing items. Men's baseball. Men's baseball had a very hefty wish list, and a lot of it was in field maintenance. Their total wish list before revisions was $34,965.25. As you can see below, we purchased them new jerseys, uh, edited their baseballs to they had 13 dozen. I gave them 11 dozen baseballs in one practice bucket to equal the total of 12. We purchased their extra bases, got them some field paint for their chalking, new batting helmets. So we try to meet most of their needs, and then revised some of the dirt and the clay and the conditioner, stuff that you obviously need for average maintenance, but it wasn't close to the cost that they needed, but at least to get them through until further stages. And with this, I had to end up cutting their batting tees and their pitching screens so they can last with the ones that they have currently until we get some more funding or more equal opportunity for their spending. Their total revised budget was $9,280.43. So this was over budget by $3,530 if comparing it to an equal budget. Men's track and field. Men's track and field requested budget was $2,317.17. I ended up cutting 2 items from theirs due to the athletic policy that I had in place. The number one which was their number one priority, which was track shoes. The athletic department does not buy shoes or supply shoes for student athletes programs. And then secondly was their uniforms. Um, they will be receiving new uniforms next year. Their uniforms were 4 years old. They will be using them this year for their 5th year. But then currently, after their 5 years old and they've served their full service, the athletic department will purchase new uniforms for them. Everything else that they requested was accepted. Ended up being a total of $1,367.27, which led them to be $4,383 under equal budget. Football. Football's requested budget was $45,824.90. I had to modify their budget a lot, and I also had to cut items to make it fit to a feasible number for the program. I ended up actually giving the coach an option in this circumstance. I gave the coach an option of one to get 100 home jerseys because you're gonna have to supplement them each year for the excess amount and expense that it costs. They do not follow the jersey rotation because of the high volume. You just got to purchase some each year. Or I gave them the option to get 18 helmets. So I accepted the Rogers Shoot Sled, and then the coach had the option to either get 18 helmets or the jerseys. The price difference was really close. I budgeted for the highest cost, which ended up being $9,375. If they decided to go with the jerseys, I believe, which was closer, it was just over 9,000, but I budgeted for the higher option of the couple $100. Wrestling, men's wrestling wish list. I made quite a bit of cuts to men's wrestling, and most of it was policy or items where I felt could be covered by other realms of revenue other than wasting our wish list equipment budget on. Items purchased was the cleaner, the mat tape, the online stats program, extra headgear, new singlets, and stocking caps. It was all items that were purchased, accepted, not denied. First item that was denied was extra shoes. This goes against our policy as stated before. The new mat could have been purchased, and I actually had money in the budget to purchase it at one time, but I decided to stay away from it since it was number 7 on the list. I did put it on future funding that it's coming up and that it's going to need to be replaced, but I decided not to do it this year. T-shirts for coaches, students, and community. That needs to be a fundraising item that they purchase and they collect the money on. That does not need to come out of our equipment budget. Uh, Coaches gear. This is also something that comes out of your fundraising. This does not come out of the equipment budget or the wish list. Wish list is mainly for um, items that the student athletes are going to need and help improve your coaching. Did purchase stocking caps as mentioned already. And then tournament food. This is something where I felt that you could have a parent sign up sheet, and we can also reach out to our cafeteria and have them pack us to go lunches at school to take on trips for us, where we didn't necessarily need uh, money put to this. If you'd want to treat them to extra meal or anything, that money would come out of extra fundraising. Women's softball. Items accepted for women's softball. First of all, their initial budget of their wish list that they asked was for $36,000. The revisions that I accepted was for $6,500, which was over budget by $750. I accepted their bigger dugouts and enclosed dugouts that they wanted for both their side and the visitor sides. This was not necessarily equipment wish list, but they didn't put any items in for equipment wish list, and I felt as if they wanted this, and if that was something that they wanted to do with some of their funds, I was going to give them the opportunity to solely make improvements as long as they are still fundraising and getting the regular equipment needs that they need. Women's track. Women's track requested wish list was $1,558.65. The budget that I ended up accepting was for only $548.65. I had to end up cutting the jerseys, but I ended up revising it and giving the program the option to get the jerseys. The reason why I cut the jerseys is because it's against athletic policy for the program to give out the jerseys to students to keep and have them purchase them. If they want to do that, it needs to be a fundraising item or go out of their program savings account where they purchase the jerseys with the money that they have in their budget. The student athletes pay them and then make sure they continue to buy those. If the athletic department buys the jerseys, it has to stay in the program within 5 years and before they can sell them to anybody. So in the pink listed below, I have the $1,010 down here for the option for the coach to get new jerseys if they would like to keep them in the program. If not, they can buy them through fundraising, and all their other fundraising items were accepted. Women's lacrosse. The women's lacrosse wish list for $4,005.83. Every item was accepted. They met all the policies. They didn't ask for anything out of policy. Got a lot of equipment and goals and coaching items to help advance their program. Women's volleyball wish list. I ended up making only one cut to the women's volleyball wish list, and it was for athletic shoes. As mentioned early, the athletic program does not purchase shoes for student athletes. And then I had to make a revision to practice balls. They ordered 3 game balls and 10 practice balls, and we only allow 12 balls per program out of the wish list budget to be purchased. So I ended up revising to 9 practice balls and still purchased their 3 game balls. And then I also added a coach's option to their program. They ordered, women's volleyball ordered a home jersey, but in shorts for their uniforms, but they also have an option through the athletic department when they purchase uniforms to get both a home and away set. So I budgeted another $2,200 within our budget for if they would want to purchase those away uniforms, which I'm sure they will, but I still put it as an option there for them to let it be known. Women's basketball. I only made one cut on women's basketball, and that was their uniforms and their shorts for both home and away. This is because uh, they're on the year 4 of the rotation. Coming into their next season will be year 5. So after this season, or upcoming season, they will get new uniforms with our uniform policy of the athletic department. It'll all be upgraded. So I mentioned that and stated that to them. And then they wanted to order 20 basketballs, and our policy is 12. So I edited them to 12 basketballs as well. They requested $8,121, which a big chunk was in uniforms. And after editing, it came up to $2,609.10, which was under equal budget by $3,141. And as I already mentioned, they will get new uniforms next year. The last program is women's soccer. Women's soccer, I had to end up editing their soccer ball. They also mentioned that they would like 20 soccer balls. I edited it to 12 due to policy. And they also requested Nike soccer balls. And I put a section there asking if that soccer ball was mission approved. If not, they'll still be able to order soccer balls. And there's money in the budget for them to order soccer balls. They just need to make sure that they're ordering approved balls. And then lastly, they were getting new jerseys this year. They got a home set and away set with pants, but then they also put an alternate jersey in there. Due to athletic policy, you only get a home and away. Alternates do not come unless they are not purchased. Sometimes they come with them due to purchases, like manufacturer deals. This did not. We do not purchase alternate set of jerseys due to budget. So they requested $6,700. All budget was accepted besides the jersey, and the soccer balls were fined, bringing out the budget to $5,720, which was under equal budget by $30. All wish list totals after cuts. For all 12 programs, the wish list items that I accepted, their totals ended up being $56,986.15. With the coach's options, which I'm sure they'll accept, ends up being $60,196.15. This leaves us $8,803.85. I decided that I met most coaching's items as needed, that I supplied them well. If they needed anything else or there was any emergencies, we could have a little bit of funding left. And then also we have a lot of upcoming expenses in the near future. Now, basketball uniforms are 2 years out. Men's baseball and women's softball have equipment needs and field maintenance needs that need to be filled. Men's volleyball is new. There could be upcoming costs that has to go there. Wrestling is needing a new mat here in the near future, and they need uniforms in 1 year. Women's basketball needs uniforms 1 year. Men's track needs uniforms. And then also football, you are buying a part of their uniforms each year and helping purchase some of their helmets. So with all the additional money that we had saved, I figured it was best to put in savings for other wish list items or emergencies.